make it personal, but only your mind if you could understand what a nigga feeling. 41st till I die, motherfuckers. I'm still breathing you for blood, so we full bread. You ain't my dog trying to infiltrate the clique issue. I get with you into that on a later note. We overdose every day to death, we so close. I'm trying to tell these cats, but I let them do their thing. Ready for the bad news till the phone ring. Son is dead now, anyway, over my head. Sick of revenge, son, bitch, son. On your behalf, trying to last out the drill gun. Conceal guns, play the hum. For real sons, for you motherfucking hoes.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Okay, I think we should be up and running. Okay, great. Yeah, sorry about that. So my streaming software made an update and it stopped working for some reason. So let me put the chat out. If there is any issues with the sound or with the stream, just let me know and I will look for a fix. So hello everyone, welcome to another live stream. So I do have my chat open on the side, and if you have any questions or chart requests, let me know. So hello Roger, hello Elafi, hello Toadface, ASAP Futures, FX Bashi. What's up everyone, welcome to the stream. So I do have TradingView here in my browser, and that means I can open up things like the news calendar, I can open up the Edge Finder, so I can do all sorts of things here in the browser, which should make the streams a bit more easier to follow, a bit more streamlined. So what has been happening today? Yeah, thank you, FX Bashi. So if you guys do like these streams, definitely consider subscribing and liking the stream. It does help out a lot. And I do have some news. So for Zentum Trading, tomorrow we will be releasing the course on the fundamental strategy. So tomorrow it will be released probably in the morning, like in the morning London time. Yeah, thank you. So if you want to check it out, you can join our free Discord and you can take a look, or you can become a paid member and get full access to the course. So it is going to be released tomorrow, and it's basically at zentumtrading.com. So that is the website. All of the information is in the description of the stream. So what has been happening in the markets? I'm not sure if you guys caught up with me on the A1 stream, because I did jump on the A1 trading stream like an hour before this stream. So basically, FX Bashi says, I'd like to see the top setups on Edge Finder when you get the chance. Yeah, sure, no worries. We can open them up right now. You missed the A1 stream. No worries. I'll pretty much say everything I said on the A1 stream and then some. So if we remove the neutral, we have just a few things on the watch list here. If you're trading fundamentals, we're looking at the Edge Finder. So we're looking at what is hot, what is cold, you could say. So what is good to buy, what is good to sell. And gold is still up there. So gold is still an interest. Silver is bullish. Nikkei is bullish. Bearish, we had CAD Swiss, CAD Yen, USD Swiss, USD ZAR, USD Yen, US oil. US oil getting a very bearish reading. So yeah, that is interesting. What's EUGU looking fundamentally? Well, they are kind of neutral. Well, they're definitely neutral because I removed the neutral one. So I removed the neutral reading, and if you go to the economic heat maps, you can see that the euro is kind of in the middle, and the GBP right now is looking a bit strong. So the UK economy is kind of catching up or starting to print some gains. From this heat map, the CAD is the strongest. The weakest right now is the dollar, but we need to update the manufacturing and the services PMIs because new numbers did come in. So if we go to our calendar, our Forex Factory calendar, we can see, okay, so this is flash manufacturing PMIs, but it should update nevertheless. So basically we got flash manufacturing PMIs, flash services PMIs. Usually what's the story? If the actual number is greater than the forecast, that is good for the currency. So both of these numbers, the actual number came in higher than the forecast as far as I can see. Yeah, so both numbers came in higher than the forecast. The reaction on the dollar was a bullish one. So yeah, the dollar started moving to the upside. The euro dollar sold off, so I'm in some drawdown on my position. Basically, most of these positions are in a little bit of drawdown that I have 3 positions open. So the DXY started to pump on this news, started to push to the upside a bit. Is it a massive move? I would say it's not. FX Bashi says the PMI was crazy good for USA. I was kind of sad. Well, maybe if you're like Euro USD long, then that is a bit of an issue. Fed's Hammock says with data now, I wouldn't see a case for a September cut. Let me check that one out. So if we go to breaking news, as far as breaking news go, I use the Financial Juice website. Okay, so let me see market moving. Okay, so this is the news. We had some manufacturing jobless claims. UK news. Okay. So Fed's Hammock with data now, I would not see a case for a September cut. Again, a bit problematic. So people are seeing the main story is actually, will we get rate cuts for the Fed or not in September? Okay, so that is the question. Will we get rate cuts or won't we get rate cuts? The best way to see what is generally going on, what is priced in, is to go to the Fed Watch tool, and here you can see what is the percentage chance of a rate cut. Right now it has fallen down to 71.3%. So this is for the September meeting, 17th of September, and basically 71.3% chance of a cut in September. So that is pretty interesting. It was like 90%. No one really knows what's going to happen. We do have a pretty important event tomorrow as far as the dollar goes, and that would be the Fed Chair Powell speech. Okay, so that would be the speech from Powell where we will find out what is he thinking. So is he neutral? Is he dovish? Is he hawkish? Does he expect rate cuts? Does he see inflation being sticky? Is he more neutral? Is he in the wait and see approach? Now, this event tomorrow could definitely move the markets. So FX Bash uses Financial Juice. Yeah, 71%, it dropped. It was like 93% a couple of weeks ago. It definitely dropped quite a lot. Definitely dropped quite a lot. So I think tomorrow you could actually, not that you should, but you could get a reaction on the DXY and on the S&P 500 or NASDAQ. So what I believe is going to happen, as far as the current data goes and as far as what I've seen Powell do, he will be a bit more hawkish. So October, let's see, October. Yeah, still like an 85.4% chance of a cut. December, 96.2% chance that there will be a cut made by the 10th of December. So those are the current percentages. This moves from day to day. I think this measures the futures market. So this gets the data from the futures market, and that's how it gets this data. But it moves quite a lot. So no one really knows what's going to happen. Will there be a cut in September? Will there be only one rate cut in 25? Or 2 rate cuts? Or 0 rate cuts? But if tomorrow Powell comes out and he says that they are in a wait and see approach, the dollar could definitely gain some value off of that news. So the dollar could definitely get bought up on that news. If Powell is neutral, we could see, I would say even in that case, a bit more of a bullish dollar. If Powell is dovish, I do think a bit of a bearish reaction could happen because rate cuts, they are bearish for the underlying currency, so the underlying currency goes down. As far as the stock market goes, so we can take a look at the NASDAQ because that is my favorite to buy and sell. So for the NASDAQ, well, again, if Powell is hawkish, I think we get further sell-off, which I would personally like for the NASDAQ. I would like to see a bit of a sell-off to some areas of support. So if we hit some areas of support, like I wrote down here on my chart, I would look for a bounce and then I would look for a buy setup. So like this. Okay, then I would look for a nice buy setup in this area. I didn't really want to look for buy setups here on the top. I think we were a bit overextended. In my opinion, we were a bit overextended. And if you are listening to some analysts, to some people that are in the markets that know what is happening, you're going to notice that most people that are proficient in the markets, that have a lot of experience in the markets, have been very skeptical of these levels. And for the last, I would say, 3 to 4 weeks, a lot of them have been calling for a pause. They have been expecting a bit of a pause here on the top, so they have not been buying. They were expecting a bit of a sell-off even. So maybe that is happening now. Already from the top, we have sold off like 3.2%. That's really not a lot. That's a really small amount. I would like to see a bit of a bigger sell-off. So if we can hit these lower levels, like 4% more, if we go lower 4% more, I would definitely look for buy setups. These market conditions are very hard to trade. Even on the 1 minute, I'm really exercising my patience. Well, are you talking about the 1 minute or on the monthly? I'm not sure. But I mean, trading on the 1 minute or the 5 minute was always extremely hard. So that was never easy. That is kind of the hardest way to trade, is on the shorter time frames. And I do think if you zoom out more, your edge improves. So if you go to the 1 hour, your edge gets better. If you go to the 4 hour, it's even better. On the daily, I think your edge becomes a lot more efficient and a lot higher. So I do think your trading edge, I know there are some scalpers that can do it, but I know your trading edge on the 1 minute is pretty low. You get massive commission, you get massive swaps, so massive fees. Your trading size is going to be massive to account for the small movement, and you need to have a really good trading edge if you're a scalper. So the style of scalping that I personally know that works is actually if you scalp NFP, if something comes out that is unexpected, or if you scalp central bank decisions. So central bank decisions can offer a lot of volatility, and if you know what you're doing, you can basically exploit the movement from that central bank. The best example would be THA from Darwinex. So if we go to THA, Darwinex, here, so this guy, or he has a team basically. So the only thing that he trades is central bank interest rate decisions and things like NFP. And that's how he makes his money. So he takes a lot of trades, scalps very quick trades, and this is his track record. So for 2025, he is up just 1%. You can see the market conditions. Okay, let me see. Camera froze. Let me try to fix it. Okay, let's see. Video capture, delete. I'm always having issues with this software. Video capture, add source. Okay. Make this smaller and just set it up a bit better. Transform. Right, 150. Okay, now it should be okay. Let's see. I like a 5 to 10% correction on the Nasdaq. I'm the same. Once I made my money from M1, I plan to switch to the 4 hour and use my free time to go into multiple business ventures. I mean, I get that, but I'm not sure what kind of trading edge you have on the 1 minute. You know, it's extremely tough to make money on the 1 minute. So I live stream trading the 1 minute. Okay, great. If it works for you. I've tried it, or I haven't tried it, but I've seen people do it. I've seen a lot of people blow up. I've seen a lot of people struggle a lot because it's super hard to trade on the 1 minute. The key is to have a really, really good trading edge. If you have some information that no one else has, like for example, the THA guy, he has information because he does massive amounts of analysis. So if you have some information that no one else has access to, you can make some really nice gains. Again, look at these gains, but even THA struggles in some years. 24, now 25. So 25 has been really hard. That is definitely true. 25 has been really hard to make percentage in. And I think his maximum drawdown, 15% maximum drawdown, that's awesome. So this is an example of a scalper. The only thing is that this guy really has a trading edge that is tough to create. You know, it's tough to get all of the data that this guy has. If you want to learn more about his trading edge, you can check out his Substack account. So if you go to Substack, THA, or add to Coquila, you can find more information on the style that he uses to make this steady percentage. Okay, so use OBS. I mean, I'm using Streamlabs. I think it's Streamlabs. Yeah, it should be Streamlabs, which uses OBS. I think it's based on OBS. So basically the same thing. But every time they do an update, my camera freezes and now the microphone didn't work. So it's always something. Jay said, how's it going, Marco? Just completed calibration on Darwin X0. Darwin will be live next Monday. Exciting times. Nice. Awesome. So congrats. And once it's live, you can jump on the stream. You can give me your ticker, and I'll be more than happy to take a look to see how you're doing. So great work. Good luck with the Darwin account, and let me know your ticker if you want, of course, and we can do some analysis. It's most difficult, Marco. Most people don't have patience and discipline. I take profit on my live streams, so it's possible, but you need to be seriously disciplined. I only plan on catching 4 to 6 trades a month as I target high reward to risk. Cool. If it works for you, then that's great. I can just tell you from my experience, from what I've seen, it takes a lot of traders are here for a short time, and you can have lucky streaks as well. So it's very important, especially with scalping, that your edge is very efficient. You know, you really have to have a good trading edge to extract money in the short-term timeframes. Now, on the longer-term timeframes, it's a bit easier, I have to say, because you're looking for trends and you're looking to jump onto the uptrend on the NASDAQ or on Bitcoin or on gold. So your edge tends to work in your favor because you're already buying something that is mostly going up. But if you're jumping in the 1 minute, the huge uptrend doesn't really, let's say, play a part. Okay, play a part on the 1 minute, and also on the 1 minute there is a lot of noise. Okay, NBF says do euro dollar please next. Yeah, sure, we can do euro USD. That's slightly different. I use OBS itself. It's more stable. Oh, okay, nice, cool. I'll check it out. But as I saw, this software Streamlabs was based on OBS, so that is why I went with Streamlabs. We'll make sure to drop by. Nice, awesome. So definitely jump in the stream. I rarely see successful traders, so I get it. For me, 4 hour and daily is piece of cake compared to lower time frames. Yeah, I would say trading the higher time frames is definitely easier. So I trade prop firms, so it's faster returns. Nice. Yeah, prop firms for scaling, for extending your capital. Definitely a good thing. Of course, if you know what you're doing. If you don't know what you're doing, then it could be very problematic. If you need help with OBS, let me know. I helped out Ivan before with some tech issues. Oh yeah, thank you. I'll stick to Streamlabs for now, but thank you for the offer. So if I ever have some issues, I'll be sure to reach out to you. Thank you. And good luck with your strategy. So I'm not sure what your edge is. If you can maybe type in the comments a bit more exactly what your edge is, or maybe you don't want to reveal everything, but just kind of a rough outline, then I'll have some more information. I'm really interested to see what you are trading, because I've been studying some traders, I've been studying some profitable traders, and it's always interesting. It's always fun to see how different traders make percentage in the markets. And then when I even saw, like when I did an internship at Positive Equity, which is a prop firm, they were scalping, and they were scalping also high impact events. So NFP, PPI, CPI, even interest rate decisions, and they did some swing trading as well, but it was really fast paced. They had this sort of like squawk sound on the speakers, so throughout the whole office you would get Bloomberg breaking news on the speakers. So it was really fun. Let's do Euro USD because that was a request. So Euro USD, I do have a position running on this one. So I do have a position running on the Euro US dollar. It's in drawdown now. This was a signal in the A1 trading Discord. I thought it was a good trade. I still think it is a good trade. We had a bullish signal on the 13th of August from the Edge Finder, so the Euro was doing pretty well. EU as an economy was beating expectations. And for the dollar, to be honest with you, I was expecting some rate cuts. Right now it looks like it's not gonna happen, or maybe it's not gonna happen. I'm a bit more neutral, and I also wanted to jump in the overall uptrend. So in my opinion, the uptrend was really powerful, really massive. Trend line getting respected, kind of broken out of the trend line, but still, I would say you can make multiple trend lines. Overall uptrend was still intact in my opinion, even with this massive selling, pressure right there. We were then also above the 20 MA. So if I don't get taken out of this position, I will just trail my stop loss. So I will trail my stop loss below the swing lows, okay? That's the game plan. If I get taken out, part of the game, part of the probabilities, at the point of taking this trade, I thought it was a nice opportunity. So I'm still bullish. I still think this could continue going up. Of course, if something changes with the dollar, that's gonna be problematic. So if something does change with the dollar, I may change my opinion. So what do we have in terms of the dollar? We have, well, I can show you on the calendar, things you can look out for. First, you have the Fed Chair Powell speech. That could be a problem for the dollar if Powell is hawkish. Then you have job openings, okay, but you have unemployment claims here, but I'm not referring to that. Talking about CPI. So CPI is going to be important. PPI is going to be important as well. And then you will have on the 17th FOMC federal funds rate. Okay. So you'll have the federal funds rate. Let's go back to our week this week. And that's exactly what I'm watching. Right now, if I had to give you a bias on the dollar, I'm neutral. I think the technical analysis represents my neutral bias as well. I think it looks flat right here, okay? So, as far as the dollar goes, I have become, I've been bearish, now I'm a bit more flat. Let's check the comments. Okay, so Parv says, what do you think holds more strength? Daily demand supply zones or the 4-hour? Well, it's always going to be higher time frames, you know. I have a trade on the EuroCAD, a sell setup that Nick gave as a signal in the A1 Discord. I thought this was a pretty good trade and a nice hedge against my 2 euro long positions. So look at this. On the daily, you have some really significant levels of resistance. So really significant levels of resistance right here. And this sort of resistance usually produces some sort of a bounce. This sort of resistance usually produces some sort of a reaction. So selling right there, I think is pretty smart, especially if you check out the Edge Finder. We go to the surprise meter. So euro kind of losing some steam, CAD very strong. So CAD actually being much much more bullish than expected. Go to CA. Yeah, so most of the stuff is coming out better than expected, which is good to see. So I do have an entry on the 15th of August. Stop loss goes above this high in this trade, waiting to see what happens. This is also positive swaps. So this is also positive swaps, which means every single day I get paid a little bit with EuroCAD. It's a really small amount, but I get paid to hold this position. For example, for Euro GBP, I actually have to pay the broker swaps to hold this position. If you want to learn more about swaps, I do have a video about it at Zentum Trading. So if you're a member of Zentum Trading, you can check it out. But if you have the Edge Finder, you can see the swaps here. So let's say Euro GBP, see here, interest rate divergence, and you're gonna make money if you sell the Euro GBP. And there's quite a big difference in interest rates. I was also long New Zealand yen a couple of weeks back, and I gained some really nice swaps on that position. You can see the buy position is positive swaps. So that was pretty good. This is a good chart to have when you're looking to execute positions, especially if you have big capital. On small capital, it doesn't make a big difference, but on large capital, the values can amount to a bigger one. So definitely daily. Daily is more powerful. FX Bashi says it's basically price action, supply demand, candlestick anatomy, market structure, and the idea of invalid zones to help give you a direction. You can see my edge on my live streams because I trade live, so you can see everything, entry to be processed, partials, everything. I try to look at the idea of where our reaction zones on the 1 minute. Okay, so thank you for the shout out again, FX Bashi. My average reward to risk is 10 to 18 and win rate is around 40 to 50%. Okay, cool. Nice. Nice. I think you mean your average reward to risk is 1.8 to 1.8 to 1. And that's good. With a 40 to 50% win rate, I think that makes sense. So those are some pretty healthy statistics. And definitely good luck. Good luck with the strategy. 10 to 18. Oh, okay, shit. I don't know about that. So if it works for you, then great. But that is massive. I don't know how you can hit those types of reward to risk. I mean, I know it's on the 1 minute. I just never seen any trader pull it off for a consistent amount of time. So yeah, good luck with the strategy. That's really not my field. I'm sticking to swing trading. I can tell you my statistics, and it's pretty similar to Trader Nick's. So win rate around 45%, I think it is, and the reward to risk is around 1.8 to 1. Okay, so those are my statistics and the statistics. I think Trader Nick has pretty similar stats. So, yeah, I think it's so your average stop loss is 2 to 4 pips. On EUGU, my take profit is around 30 to 40 pips, and on yen it's 70 pips take profit with average stop loss. I don't know. I mean, those are some crazy numbers. I've never seen any trader pull off those types of numbers. It's really a high reward to risk. The win rate is pretty healthy as well. I would test this for at least, you can put it in the comments how much live testing did you do, but I would test this for at least 3 to 6 months with some low risk. Okay. Look, my advice, just test it for 3 to 6 months with minimum lots or very small risk and see how you do. I can tell you, like, the best trader in the world, Jim Simmons, this guy, Jim Simmons, whoop. Okay, this guy, he made 60% in 30 years. So 60% return in 1 year on a 30-year sample size. So 60% on average. And he's the best trader in the world. So if you can do anything close to that, you're already in the top 0.0.0.01%. Most profitable traders that I've seen, like Trader Nick, Chris Pulver, let's say Vuk Vukovic, they can make maybe 20 to 30% per year on average. Okay, so they're definitely beating the S&P, but it's still not like 100, 150, 300% per year. I'm just talking about realistic expectations, and I'm talking about what really works in the markets. Okay. I don't know. I've seen FX Bashy on the streams before. I've seen FX Bashy on Trader Nick streams for, I think, for weeks now. I've seen your name, so I'm not sure you're like a troll or anything. But maybe you're just a beginner. If you are a beginner, make sure you test your data on a larger sample size. So please don't risk a huge amount of money on these types of statistics. I'm just telling you the reality of the game. Also, a stop loss that is 2 pips. My spreads are 2 pips on some occasions. So I was on Nick's stream. I had a segment, me and Nick spoke. Lol, okay, cool. Yeah, I've seen your name. So I don't think you're just trolling. I just think you need to do a lot forward testing to see if you can pull it off for a extended amount of time. And also with the broker, as I mentioned. So I have IC markets. The spreads are pretty good, but they can even jump 1 to 2 pips on euro dollar, on GBP/USD, and don't get me started on prop firms. That is why scalping is tough to pull off on prop firms, because they expand your spreads on purpose. So scalping, you need to have tight spreads, but prop firms, they actually want you to lose. So for anyone that doesn't know, prop firms make all of their profits from the failed challenge fees, which means you get paid out when you make money. You get paid out from the failed challenge fees. So when you make money, the prop firm loses money, okay? Which means there's a conflict of interest. So it's very often, it happens very often that they expand your spreads, they add to your commissions, they have very high commissions, and that's why scalping is especially problematic on prop firms, because they don't offer the best trading conditions. Use IC markets. Cool. Nice. Okay. So let's continue with the analysis. Let me just see if everything is working properly. So if you guys have any chart requests or any questions, any psychology, risk management, let me know in the chat. As far as my stance goes on the DXY, damn, DXY is actually moving up quite nicely. So DXY looks to be moving up. 1 hour chart looks pretty healthy. Let me quickly check on the Aussie dollar. Aussie is okay. Aussie is selling off as expected. Just to repeat myself, I'm a bit neutral on the DXY. I was bearish, but I'm not sure what is going to happen. We're getting some strong numbers out of the US. We have the speech from Powell tomorrow. No one knows, will he be hawkish, dovish, or neutral? No one knows, will there actually be a rate cut in September? The possibility is dropping lower. Let's see if it dropped even lower now. So 71.5% chance of a rate cut in September, but it's not a certain cut. The Nasdaq, or generally like US stocks, indices, moving lower, pulling back, which I'm kind of happy to see. So I do have some long-term investments. Into the S&P 500. But I would like to take some short-term positions. I would like to take some short-term trades on the Nasdaq. I would like for the Nasdaq to hit these areas. So that's the game plan. And I think that's the best gauge for the markets in general. If you look at the DXY and you look at the US stock market, you should get a pretty clear picture of what is going on. US 10-year is actually going up. Okay, interesting. Gold. As far as gold goes, being flat and range bound right here. So I would look for a breakout to the upside. I would look for gold to break this level of resistance, and then I would look for buy setups. I know Trader Nick mentioned that he would maybe like to get in a buy position at this level of support, so a trade like this, but I'm not sure. Maybe I'll take like an initial position, maybe lower risk position. I would prefer to get a breakout to the upside. So yeah, we will see. Maybe you can take, if gold does move into this area, maybe you can take like a 0.25, maybe 0.5% risk. And then if it actually does break out higher, then maybe you can go in with a higher risk. So that's my game plan. Overall, if I zoom out, definitely in an uptrend. Edge Finder right now, I think it's bullish. Should be bullish. So gold is very bullish right here. We're just stuck in a range. I know I did the A1 trading stream yesterday and today, and there was a huge request for gold. So a lot of you guys love trading gold, and I get it. I would just say to be careful. The same thing as Nick says, so don't get chopped around in this flat range. I would wait for the extremes of the range. Always best to sell to buy the bottom of the range. Maybe you can then sell the top, or just wait for a complete breakout out of this range. As far as silver goes, is silver looking a bit more interesting? Well, not really. Not really. So silver is looking kind of flat right here. I would also be waiting for a breakout. I think there is a bullish reading on silver. Okay, so we're getting a bullish reading on silver as well. If we do get some more momentum, I would be happy to look for buys on silver. Also checking the ratio. If you're trading gold and silver, it's always good to check the ratio. So gold to silver ratio. Let's see. So this chart tells you how much more valuable gold is against silver. And this chart has an equilibrium, so it kind of has a middle. And right now, I would say we're pretty close to that middle. I would say we're pretty close to that equilibrium. So there is no clear edge whether to prefer gold or silver. I know in this area, when gold was very overvalued against silver, we were kind of far away from the equilibrium. I was pretty happy to take a silver trade. Okay, so I was pretty happy to take a silver buy position. But now I don't see a major confluence for like preferring gold against silver or silver against gold. If we go back to, let's say, these levels where silver is kind of worth more than gold in relative terms, then maybe you can actually prefer to get in gold. As far as just the charts go, daily charts, well, silver does look a bit more interesting because gold has been ranging for a longer amount of time. I'm watching both. I can set an alarm here. Let's see, for a breakout, set an alert. Yeah. So my main watch list is the NASDAQ, gold, euro dollar. I'm in a position, Euro GBP in a position that's break even, Euro CAD in some drawdown, so sell setup. That's my watch list right there. So let me check the comments. Gold is so bad. Marco, tell Bashi about Darwin X0. I think, look, for short-term trading, or if you want to get payouts quicker, prop firms are better. If you're going to be here for a longer time, if you want access to investors, if you want to build a verified track record, then Darwin X is great. So FX Bashi, the best way to prove your profitability is to actually build a track record. You don't even have to pay for DarwinX. So what you can do, if you don't want to pay for DarwinX 0, you can open up a live account with DarwinX Classic, put in 1,000 euros, and you don't have any fees. Okay, so you just open an account with their broker, and you basically have 0 monthly fees. You also are building a track record, and you get access to funding and investors. Or you can just keep trading your IC Markets account, connect your account to my FX book for free, and have a consistent track record. So yeah, definitely good luck. I think with the statistics that you put in the chat, I don't think it's a sustainable strategy. But try it, just don't risk too much, and then connect your account to my FX book. Let's see 6 months of performance, and then we can discuss, we can analyze. Also for other people and watching the live stream, if you're assessing someone on their performance, I would say 6 months to a year is minimum. You know, I've even seen traders have a lucky streak for 6 months up to a year, and then after that 1 year, they lose all of their profits that they made in that 1 year. So I've seen all sorts of stuff. You know, the perfect track record would be 2, 3, 4, maybe even 5 years. I know Nick has one like 5 or 7 years, so that's what you're looking for. But just a couple of months, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, it's not enough. Like 6 months to a year should be the bare minimum. Why do I say that? Because market conditions. So market conditions, they change all the time. And basically, you can get lucky. You can have a lucky streak for a few months. I've had that happen, you know, with my technical strategy that I was trading in 22. I had a great lucky streak, and even in 23. So lucky streak, and then markets quiet down, and I didn't take any trades, or I took mostly losses, and I got into some drawdowns. Now, fortunately, because there was a real trading edge behind the strategy, I did not lose more than I made, so I still ended up positive, but you get tested in different market conditions. So yeah, it's all about the changing market conditions. Okay, let's see. I can break down some of these trades. So EURUSD, I kind of already mentioned too much about EURUSD, so let's go to Euro GBP. I did mention this briefly. For the new viewers of the stream, why am I in this trade? Well, I'm in this position because the euro on the 11th of August was actually a pretty strong currency. It has lost some of its bullish reading. Let's see. EU. So it has lost a bit of its bullish reading, but the GBP is still pretty weak in my opinion. Even though recently we've been getting some okay UK data. If we go to UK, so right now 71.43%. Yes, you're getting a bullish reading on the Edge Finder, but I do believe the main issue with the GBP is that the UK central bank, so the Bank of England, is struggling right now. And if you dig in a bit deeper, you can go to the Edge Finder and you can see inflation. So inflation is going higher for the GBP. So that's a problem. But also, GDP for the pound is not looking the best. They have issues with growth. See, some negative growth. Yes, positive growth, latest 14th of August. But we're looking at the big picture. What can we also see? Can we see some labor market data? Unemployment rate. Let's see, GBP. Yeah, definitely a problem here. See, rising unemployment. In 24, it was down to 4%. Now it's up to 4.7%. So what the Bank of England is facing right now is rising inflation, bad employment, bad GDP. That's called stagflation. So that sort of a term is called stagflation, and it's usually the worst thing before recession. So I think recession is even worse, but stagflation is a major problem because the central bank doesn't know whether they should cut rates or raise interest rates. Okay, so the central bank has a big issue. Generally, what happens to currencies, and you can look it up, you can do your research, you can put it into ChatGPT. During a stagflation period, the underlying currency, meaning the GBP, loses value. So that's what I'm betting on here. Possibly the GBP could be losing value in the long term. That's why I want to keep holding my Euro GBP position, and I think this is a pretty strong play right here. Also, one thing that I like, you have these highs, and I did not buy on the highs, so that's always good. That's the danger of buying on the highs, or buying when the price is a bit overextended or kind of far away from the 20 EMA. You could get a pullback and then you get taken out of your position. So that's one of the things that I emphasize in the course that's going to be live tomorrow in Zentum Trading. So tomorrow we are releasing the fundamental strategy course inside of Zentum Trading, and one lesson in there is don't buy the highs, wait for the pullback. So always best to wait for a bit of a pullback and then to actually get in, which I did right here. Euro CAD. So this is a trade from Nick from the A1 okay, I can see people I can see people fighting in the comments. Yeah, no worries. You can spam the chat all you want, but look, the conclusion is this: trade a few months, see if you can build a track record, see if you can work it out, and then you can present the track record and you can actually prove your profitability. So having a verified track record, you said you're using IC Markets, that's a verified broker, great. Just connect it to a MyFX book, and then you can send people links. Then you can send people links that prove your profitability. So yeah, but getting back to it, Euro CAD, let me just do something. Okay, so Euro CAD, why did I sell right here? Well, the euro is turning out to be a bit of a weaker currency, and the CAD is doing pretty well. If we go to, where's my heat map? CAD. So pretty well, Canada doing pretty well, better than expected fundamentals. And I would say a great confluence to take this trade is we are at a massive level of resistance. I think the weekly chart paints this resistance even better. So you have two very important swing highs that offer a great resistance area. So selling at those highs may be actually a good trade. Okay. And for this trade, I'm not going to trail my stop loss. So if it does go into my direction, if it does go lower, I'll probably take a take profit somewhere at these lows. I think that could be a smart way to play it. Let me just check on the monthly chart. What's the monthly chart doing? So let's see. Yeah, massive resistance. We should get at least some sort of a reaction, just some sort of a sell-off. That's what usually happens at these massive levels of resistance. So we'll see. We'll see what will happen. As I mentioned, I'll probably have a take profit at this low right here. So that's my Euro CAD trade. Quick glance on Forex, rest of the Forex pairs. Let me see. Euro dollar kind of descending / doing nothing. GBP/USD printing lower. Aussie USD, yeah, pretty much the dollar is gaining value today. The dollar seems to be gaining value for today. Euro yen flat. AJ also corrective here on the 1 hour, and NJ corrective on the 1 hour, pretty much being flat for the day. Crypto, see also S&P, DAX still hasn't broken out. I can put my alert. Why don't I have an alert yet here? So if anyone is wondering, I'm looking for buy setups on the DAX. I'm looking for buy setups on the DAX, but I would like to get a breakout higher, okay? I would definitely like to get a breakout higher, and then I would be looking for buy setups. This is pretty much similar to gold, right? Pretty much similar to gold, very flat in this area. So in order to avoid getting chopped, which I already kind of did get chopped on the DAX, I took 2 losses already. So in order to avoid taking more losses, I'm definitely waiting for a breakout. Just log this position. Also, top tip, if you're gonna put risk reward tools, just make sure you log them so that you don't accidentally delete them. Yeah, so German 40, that's it, waiting for a breakout. Nikkei has actually broken out. Okay, nice, interesting. Edgefinder, top setups. I think I saw the Nikkei. Yeah, Nikkei is bullish. Okay, so Nikkei is getting a bullish reading. Am I looking to buy? No, not really. For me, stock market right now, in general, stocks, I think there's going to be a bit of a pause. I think there's going to be a bit of a pullback. So I'm being a little bit hesitant. To buy stocks. Okay, let's see. Any requests in the chat? Nope. So I will be ending the stream pretty soon, in like 2 or 3 minutes. If you have any final requests, make sure you post them in the comments. Last plug for Zentum Trading. So you can join for free. Let me post the link as well. You can join for free, or you can become a paid member as well. And tomorrow we are releasing the fundamental strategy. So full course on the fundamental strategy. The strategy I've been analyzing for the last couple of months. Okay, so for the last couple of months, and all of these trades are made from that. Sorry, these trades are made from that fundamental approach, fundamental strategy. Okay. Yeah, no worries, guys. No worries, guys. I hope you resolved your little argument. So let me just continue with. We'll stop by at some point with my ticker. Awesome. Cool. So you can jump on the stream next week on Thursday. Put it in the comments and I'll take a look. But I'm not sure how much time does it take for them to create a ticker for you. I think it takes some time for them to actually create everything and set everything up. But I'll be pretty happy to go through it and to analyze your Darwin ticker. Crypto selling off here. So Bitcoin had a massive sell-off. Went into the all-time highs. I was actually considering to maybe buy it. But then we just sold off quite heavily by like 99%. So a huge sell-off on Bitcoin. And now I'm just being patient. Ethereum, I don't really trade Ethereum. So I don't short-term trade Ethereum. I do have some Ethereum as a long-term investment, okay? But for short-term trading, I don't have a good gauge on the fundamentals for Ethereum. For Bitcoin, it's easier because on Bitcoin, it pretty much follows the Nasdaq, so it acts like a technology stock, meaning if the US economy is doing well, if there's a risk-on environment, if people have extra money, they usually park it in crypto. And crypto usually gains value. Ethereum is a bit of a different story. The latest explosion up, I'm not sure why it happened, this huge explosion. What was this day? Wednesday. I think it has to do something with US companies buying a lot of Ethereum, and instead of holding US dollars, they held crypto, so they pumped up the price by a huge amount, and now it looks to be selling off a little bit. I think there's Palantir. I think they bought a lot of Ethereum. So that is why their stock appreciated massively, because they bought lots of Ethereum. I'm not sure if that's correct, but I think it is. So on crypto, I'm being patient. US oil, just in my opinion, it's kind of flat. I'm being careful with US oil. It is very much controlled by geopolitics. So geopolitics have a huge impact on US oil, and that's why it is pretty tough to trade. You can have a great trade idea, and then Israel and Iran happens. Or then there's a ceasefire. Or then something happens with US and Russia, with Putin and Trump. So highly impacted by geopolitics. Very tough to form a decent trade idea unless you have some information that not a lot of people know. Unless you have some sort of, let's say, insider information. And if you did some deep research, then you may have a great edge to trade US oil. So for US oil, I personally am patient. DXY, neutral. JXY, I'm kind of neutral as well on the yen, if I'm being honest. And that would be about it. So, JSET says it's every Monday tickers are launched. Okay, cool. So next week you should have your ticker. Once I get my personal account done, I'm gonna get a Darwin account. Sure, you can also import your track record into Darwin X Classic, and then you just automatically get a Darwin account. They compile the data over the weekend, possibly. Yep. Trump is annoying for me. Yeah, for trading, for traders in general. Trump is definitely a problem because he is all over the place. One day it's tariffs, the next day it's we're gonna end the Russia-Ukraine war, then it's Israel and Iran, then it's tariffs again. So then it's crypto memes, then it's crypto coins. He's all over the place. Very tough to follow if you're a trader. So much he moves the market by a huge amount, and it's very tough to follow what he means and what he's saying. But we have to adjust and we have to trust the data. If you ignore the noise and trust the data, you can make some decent trade ideas. So if you can just filter out the bullshit, focus on the good stuff, on the fundamentals, you could make some decent gains. Okay, final question. Let's see. Do you remember what your leverage was after calibration? What risk multiple did the risk engine give you as a result of that leverage? I'm not sure what was my D leverage, but my risk multiple was 0.5. So once I got my account, it was 0.5x. So when I took a 1% risk on the Signal account, it translated into 0.5% risk on the actual account. Nowadays, my risk is around 1.1. So if I take a 1% risk on the Signal account, it translates into 1.1% risk on the actual account. Okay, that's about it. I have to go. Thank you guys very much for watching. Good luck in the markets. Watch what will happen tomorrow. Jackson Hole, Powell, and see you guys next week on Thursday. If you want to get updates, you can find me on Instagram, Marcos Trading Journey. I post all of the updates about my live stream schedule on my Instagram account. So yeah, good luck JSET, good luck FX Bashi, and FX Bashi. Okay, I'll check out your streams. I'll check it out. Just be careful. Be careful. Don't risk too much. Okay. Thank you. See you guys.